It's actually true, because a career seems to be something you would have to start altering the kind of work you do to maintain the career. Career is about success, it seems to me. You've got to work like that. And I've always sort of done one film at a time. I mean, I'm not thinking about anything other than that one film. So there's so many people that make decisions based on what they want their career to be, and I don't work like that. Each film is like the first time I've ever made a film, and probably the last time as well. That's what I think. So I don't want to get caught in that. I like, especially dealing with Hollywood, and you start dealing with actors, and they're thinking about their career, so they're choosing films that will advance their career as opposed to doing something that obsesses or possesses them, or just would be fun to do.
So pleased you could make it right this way.
It's about flights of fantasy and the nightmare of reality.
We're all in it together.
This is a place for crazy people.
I'm not saying you're not mentally ill. For all I know, you're crazy as hell.
The army of the 12 monkeys, they're the ones that spread the virus.
Monkeys?
He's been living in a meticulously constructed fantasy world, and that world is starting to disintegrate.
Hey, to the right! You can't park your car here!
Why not? Is this not a reasonable place to park?
Reasonable? You're on a sidewalk!
Fire! What's the score here?
I don't, actually. I do think they're all works of genius. How could there be one better than the other? I don't think. I think I like them all. That's my problem. I like them all for different reasons. That's the thing. It's always like, when it comes time for all the award season, the Academy Awards, I said, come on, I don't know which one's better. So it's like I would nominate them all. I don't know which one would win. It's very funny when you watch them. Like I watched Brazil. I don't watch my films, but I had to about a month ago. I had to do a talk, so I had to start looking at them again. And there's always moments when I watch and say, "Oh no, I wouldn't do that now." But the guy that did me when I was that age did it, and so I leave it. I don't want to change them because they're statements about me at a particular time in my life, and that's the best I could do. So never touch them. I think when you see people re-editing their films years later, it's cheating. To me, a film is the product of a very particular time and place and group of people, and that's it. And you shouldn't mess with it after that.
It's me, Jeliza Rose. I'm just as excited as anything, because today we're all going on a great trip.
No, it was very funny because there was a screening in London and Guillermo did a question and answer afterwards, and that was the first I'd seen Pan's Labyrinth, and I said, I thought it was fantastic. I thought he did a great job. And afterwards we sat down, we went to dinner, and he was talking. He says, Terry, we made the same film last year. And I said, I know we've made the same film, having seen yours. I said, there's a big difference. Yours has been critically praised, and mine has been shat upon. But yeah. That's what it's about. Childhood. It's about a child in a difficult, disturbing situation and how they survive. And actually, my girl comes out alive. His ends up dead. That's the difference. What's interesting about Pan's Labyrinth? It's actually more cruel than Tideland, more brutal. Yep. I actually had to look away when he's smashing the bottle, and the guy thought, "Oh, Guillermo, what the fuck are you doing?" No, it's funny. I don't even think of Guillermo as younger, but I suppose he is. He's much younger. He's got a slightly different aesthetic. I mean, his is much more. He really comes from horror films more. I mean, in that sense. But he's playing with something on a much more intelligent level, I think. But he was always sort of stuck in the horror film genre when it came out. I remember I was at Gérardmer, the film festival, and there he was with Kronos, and it was in the horror film section. And I thought, well, this film is not quite a horror film, except he does use certain elements from those kinds of film. I think what was weird about Tideland, I don't even think about horror films at all. And yet, David Cronenberg called it a poetic horror film. And now that I look at it, I know what he's talking about. But I was coming from I think we come, Guillermo and I kind of meet in the middle, coming from very different directions. I'm a Protestant, he's a Catholic, he's, all these things, and yet we somehow, with Pan's Labyrinth and Tideland, I think we were like crossing. And yet most people don't talk about it. Even though on the web, when I look at, I get Google alerts, so to check out what they're writing about me or my films. And Pan's Labyrinth is coming up every day, always with my name attached to it. There was a time I wanted to make things like 300, long ago. I couldn't make them now. I don't have the energy to make that kind of movie. But I haven't seen it yet. But I've seen the imagery, which looks fantastic, but I don't think it's probably very good. The acting looks pretty horrible to me, and the ideas seem even stupid. I mean, when you see the Persian king looking like that, I said, what are you talking about? He didn't look anything like that.
Gay bar.
Yeah, exactly. I said, what are we talking? This is now we're into sort of DVD games and things like that, and it's like we got orcs in that movie. What are the orcs doing in that movie? No, what happens? I mean, I remember Chuck Roven, who was the producer of 12 Monkeys, when he saw Fear and Loathing in Cannes, and he says, your problem, Terry, you're 5 years ahead of the business. And maybe that's true. Maybe I'm always just ahead of it, which means somebody else will make a lot of money, and I'll get beaten up each time. But it's all right. I get Google alerts. Thank you.